Good morning. In this session, I shall be discussing about the sporophyte and alternation of generation in Anthoceros. This topic is included in the unit Bryophytes of the second semester. I am Shobha Rani, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Government First Grade College, Chikbalapur. For the better understanding of the sporophyte and alternation of generation in Anthoceros, let us have a recap of sexual reproduction in Anthoceros. Anthoceros has both monoecious and dioecious species. Male plants are smaller than the female in the dioecious species. In monoecious species, the antheridia are produced earlier than archegonia. The sex organs are deeply embedded in the thallus. The antheridia are present on the upper side of the thallus in small cavities. They are found in groups of 2 to 4. The antheridial cavities are completely covered by a double layer of cells. They have no opening to the outside. Each antheridium is borne on a multicellular stalk. The main body of the antheridium is globose. It has a single-celled thick jacket. Antheridia have mass of androgonial cells. They give rise to biflagellate antherozoids. Archegonia are produced close to the growing point. Archegonia are embedded in the tissue of the thallus. Each archegonium consists of an egg, a venter canal cell, and 4 neck canal cells. The canal of the archegonium is closed at the top by 4 cover cells. These cells project slightly above the general surface of the thallus. The plant becomes wet with dew or rain during fertilization. The antherozoids are attracted towards the archegonium chemotactically. Antherozoids enter the archegonium through the neck canal. One of them fuses with the egg to complete the fertilization. The zygote increases in size and completely fills the venter. It secretes a wall to become the oospore. Now if we look into the sporophytic phase of Anthoceros, after fertilization, the diploid zygote or oospore still enlarges in size and fills the cavity of the venter of the archegonium. It secretes an outer cellulose wall. The zygote, by repeated division, develops into an elongated embryo. The embryo, by further divisions, cell differentiation and continued growth, develops into sporophyte. The young sporophyte of Anthoceros is surrounded by a fleshy covering or sheath. It is called involucre. It is developed partly from the tissue of the archegonium and partly from the tissue of the gametophytic thallus. In young stages, the sporophyte is completely surrounded by involucre. Now let us look into the structure of the mature sporogonium. The mature sporophyte consists of a bulbous foot and a smooth, slender, erect, cylindrical structure called capsule. Capsule varies in length from 2 to 15 centimeters in different species. The sporogonium appears like a bristle or a horn. Hence the species are called hornworts. Internal structure of the sporogonium, as we can observe here in this diagram, a mature sporogonium can be differentiated into 3 parts, namely the foot, the meristematic zone and the capsule. The foot is bulbous. It is multicellular and made up of mass of parenchymatous cells. It acts as a haustorium and absorbs food and water from the adjoining gametophytic cells for the developing sporophyte. Just above the foot, you can observe there is a meristematic zone or intermediary zone, or even called as intercalary zone. That is, the theta is represented by meristematic zone. This is present at the base of the capsule and consists meristematic cells. These cells constantly add new cells to the capsule at its base. The presence of meristem at the base enables the capsule to grow for a long period and form spores. It is a unique feature of Anthoceros and is not found in other bryophytes. We are able to see different stages of development from the base upward in the sporogonium of Anthoceros. Now if we look into the capsule, the internal structure of the capsule can be differentiated into columella, archisporium and capsule wall. As you can see here in this diagram, the columella is central sterile strand extending nearly to its tip. It is endothelial in origin. In young sporophyte, it consists of 4 vertical rows of cells, but in mature sporophyte, it is made up of 16 vertical rows of cells, that is 4 into 4. In a transverse section, these cells appear as solid square. It provides mechanical support, functions as water conducting tissue, and also helps in dispersal of spores. Now if we look into the archisporium is present between the capsule wall and the columella. It extends from the base to the top of the capsule. It originates from the inner layer of the amphithecium. In young sporophyte, it overarches the columella, a feature in contrast to the liverworts. In few species of Anthoceros, for example, as in Anthoceros crenatiforans and Anthoceros hawaiiensis, the archisporium may remain 1 cell in thickness throughout its further development. However, in Anthoceros piersoni and Anthoceros himalayensis, it may become 2-layered thick, a little above the base. In Anthoceros halli, it may even become 2 to 4 cells in thickness. In upper part of the capsule, it is differentiated into sporogenous tissue which produces spores and pseudoelaters. Pseudoelaters may be unicellular or multicellular, branched or unbranched, and may consist more or less elongated cells. The spiral thickenings are absent, which is a characteristic feature of Anthoceros. But in Anthoceros physocladus, the cells have long and thick walls with extremely reduced lumen. In some species of Anthoceros, the secondary wall possesses helical thickenings. If we observe the wall of the capsule, it consists of 4 to 6 layers of cells, of which the outermost layer is epidermis. The cells of the epidermis are vertically elongated and have deposit of cutin on their walls. The continuity of epidermis is broken or interrupted by the presence of stomata. The stomata are oriented vertically with the axis of the sporogonium and are widely separated from each other. Each stoma consists of a pore surrounded by 2 guard cells. The cells of the inner layers have intercellular spaces and contain chloroplast. Thus, the sporogonium is partially self-sufficient to synthesize its own organic food, but partially it depends on the gametophyte for the supply of water and mineral nutrients. Now, if we move on to the dehiscence of the capsule dehisces basipetally, that is, from the apex to the base. As the capsule matures, its tip becomes brownish or black. Vertical lines of dehiscence appear in the jacket layer. The dehiscence of the capsule is usually by two longitudinal lines. Occasionally, it is by single line or rarely by 4 lines. The capsule wall dries and shrinks at maturity. Consequently, narrow slit appears in the capsule wall all along the shallow grooves, that is the lines of dehiscence, which gradually widen and extend towards the base. In Anthoceros crepulus, capsule splits first along one line of dehiscence and it is followed by splitting along other line of dehiscence. It results in the formation of two valves of the capsule wall. Still attached at the tip and exposing the columella is the mass of spores and pseudoelaters. The two valves, thus separated, diverge and twist hygroscopically. The pseudoelaters also dry out, twist and help to loosen the spores. Thus, this twisting of the valves and the movement of the pseudoelaters in the exposed spore mass helps in the shedding of the spores. Air current also help in the dispersal of spores. Now, if we look into the structure of spore, the spores are haploid, uninucleate, semicircular with conspicuous triradiate mark. Each spore remains surrounded by two wall layers. The outermost layer is thick, ornamented and is known as exospore. It varies in color from dark brown to black as in Anthoceros punctatus or yellow like in Anthoceros laevis. The inner layer is thin and is known as endospore. Wall layers enclose colorless plastids, oil globules and food materials. Now coming on to the germination of spore and formation of young gametophyte. Under favorable condition, the spore germinate immediately in Anthoceros erectus and Anthoceros punctatus. However, in Anthoceros fusiformis, the spore undergo a resting period of few weeks or months before germination. At the time of germination, spore absorbs water and swells up. Exospore ruptures at the triradiate mark and endospore comes out in the form of a tube. It is called germ tube. Contents migrate into the germinal tube where the colorless plastids turn green. Later, by successive divisions, the new gametophyte is formed. First, rhizoid develop as an elongation of any cell of the young thallus. As the growth proceeds, the mucilage slits appear on the lower surface and these slits are infected by nostoc. Now let us look into the alternation of generation in Anthoceros. The life cycle of Anthoceros show regular alternation of two morphologically distinct phases. One of these generation is haplophase and the other is diplophase. In Anthoceros, the haplophase or the gametophytic phase is dominant and produces the sex organs. The sex organs produce gametes to form a diploid zygote. The sporophytic phase constitutes the diploid phase. The zygote develops into sporophyte. In Anthoceros, sporophyte is represented by foot, meristematic zone and capsule. The sporophyte produces the spores in the capsule. The spores on germination produces the gametophyte. So, in Anthoceros, two morphologically distinct phases, the haplophase and the diplophase, constitutes the life cycle. The life cycle of this type, which is characterized by alternation of generation and sporogenic meiosis, is known as heteromorphic and diplohaplontic. Now finally, let us look into the summary. The sporophyte of Anthoceros is born on the gametophyte, but mature sporogonium does not totally depend on the gametophyte. The mature sporophyte consists of a bulbous foot and a smooth, slender, erect, cylindrical structure called capsule. The capsule varies in length from 2 to 15 centimeters in different species. The sporogonium appears like a bristle or horn, hence these species are called hornworts. The sporogonium can be differentiated into foot, meristematic zone and capsule. The foot is the basal part of the sporophyte, which is rounded, bulbous structure deeply embedded in the tissue of the thallus. The foot absorbs water and mineral nutrients from gametophyte for the developing sporophyte. The meristematic zone or the intermediate zone is a narrow zone of meristematic cells located in between the foot and capsule. It regenerates the capsule from the base. Thus, the capsules are always in different stages of growth. The capsule forms the major and conspicuous part of the sporophyte. It is slender, smooth, upright, cylindrical structure that tapers at its apex. It consists of capsule wall, sporogenous tissue and columella. The capsule wall is made up of 4 to 6 layers of parenchymatous cells. The cells of the outermost layer, which form the epidermis, are heavily cutinized, vertically elongated and interrupted by stomata. Below the epidermal layer is green parenchymatous photosynthetic tissue containing chloroplast. Thus, the sporophyte is capable of manufacturing their own food by photosynthesis, except for water and minerals for which it depends upon the gametophyte. Sporogenous tissue or the archisporium of the Anthoceros is situated between the jacket and the columella. At maturity, it differentiates into spore mother cell and pseudoelaters. The columella is the central part of the capsule. It contains 4 rows of elongated vertical cells. In transverse section, the columella appears to be a solid square. The columella provides mechanical support to the capsule. It also helps the spores to disperse and is associated with conduction of water and minerals. At maturity, the tip of the capsule loses water. After drying the capsule, a slit appears just below the tip, which gradually widens downwards, and eventually the capsule wall splits into 2 to 4 valves. The hygroscopic movement of the pseudoelaters releases the spores to a distance by air current. The life cycle of Anthoceros show regular alternation of two morphologically distinct phases. One of these generation is a haplophase and the other is diplophase. The life cycle of this type, which is characterized by alternation of generation and sporogenic meiosis, is known as heteromorphic and diplohaplontic. This was about the sporophyte and alternation of generation in Anthoceros. Thank you.